Well, welcome, folks. We're getting closer and closer to Christmas, and I'm here with Terry. Terry, I have a confession.
Oh, let us hear.
I do not wear a brassiere.
This is the best news I've had so far today.
I figured you'd think that was right.
Despite the fact that you have a cell phone.
I'm working on my pecs. No, I don't carry a cell phone, and if I had one, I wouldn't put it in a brassiere.
You don't have a cell phone?
No. Who needs cell phones?
Oh, well,
I've got one in the car, I think. I'm not
and if
sure
he can find it, he might figure out how to use it.
I have one of those remotes in the telephone at home that I can carry around.
Well, that's very contemporary of you.
These women are putting these lousy things in their brassieres.
Well, that's because it's convenient. They don't want to wear purses.
Doesn't it hurt?
Well, I don't do it. I don't know.
Well, here's a question. Can that cell phone actually create breast cancer? Well, for some women, the answer is an affirmative yes. Our reporter, Laurie Johnson, went out to find out what they're doing and why they're doing it. Here's Laurie.
Millions of women, especially young ones, choose to keep their cell phone in their bra.
It's convenience is the main thing. I mean, it's right here, so I don't have to wear a purse, or like if I have a dress on that's straight up and down, I don't have pockets.
A recent survey reveals 40% of college females make that choice at least sometime during the day, and 3% for more than 10 hours a day.
We must make the bra a no-phone zone.
Dr. John West believes storing the cell phone next to the breast for an extended time could cause breast cancer. But since cell phone technology is fairly new, evidence from critical long-term studies simply isn't available yet.
We won't know in the next 20 or 30 years. We won't have collected sufficient number of cases to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that the cell phones are causing the cancer.
West says one clear signal is that he's seeing more breast cancer in young women than he's ever seen in his 40 years of practice.
When you take something and put it directly on the skin, it's high energy microwave radiation for a prolonged period of time. In young women with vulnerable developing breasts, we may have a perfect storm.
Doctors diagnosed Donna Janes with breast cancer at just 38 years old.
I had to go through a mastectomy, a single mastectomy, went through chemo, 6 rounds of chemo, 39 doses of radiation. It was just back-to-back continuously. It was took a heavy toll.
Donna questioned how she got her cancer since she had no risk factors. The answer, she says, was on her X-ray.
I used to tuck my cell phone into my bra right in this area here. And when I was diagnosed, had imaging done, and the doctors told me that the tumors were in the area of 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And they were shaped like the cell phone.
Donna stored her cell phone in her bra for about 10 years, but not anymore. Rachel DePalma shares an almost identical story.
I used to wear it over the left side, and I would just tuck it in my bra whenever I would go for hikes and walks with my girlfriends.
That went on for about 5 years.
I just happened to be putting on a shirt, and I noticed the lump, and I thought, well, that's a little odd. That I don't remember that being there.
Stunned by her X-ray, Rachel came to what she calls an obvious conclusion.
The area where the cancer was found, the box that the radiologist drew just happened to be the same size as my BlackBerry phone.
Despite stories like these, women carrying cell phones in their bras is, if anything, becoming even more popular. In fact, many bras like this one are now on the market with pockets for cell phones.
Radiologist June Chen grew suspicious as she diagnosed more and more of her young patients with cancer.
It's very unusual for young women in their 20s and 30s to have breast cancer, period, yet alone such extensive breast cancers. And these women are vehemently telling us that they wore their cell phones over the area, directly over the area where they subsequently developed this extensive breast cancer. And they're telling us that they wore these cell phones there on a routine and regular basis.
She advises all women to keep their cell phones away from their bodies until studies conclude whether close proximity causes cancer.
I do think that there may be an association, and therefore, since we're not sure, let's be cautious.
Most cell phone companies acknowledge some risk. For example, Apple advises keeping the iPhone more than half an inch from the body. But such safety guidelines are often overlooked.
The cell phone companies, they all now say, keep the cell phone away from the skin, but none of them deal with the issue. It's in the back of the manual, page 99, in small print. We need to get this to the surface.
So according to some breast cancer survivors and the doctors who treat them, women should declare the bra a no-phone zone before it's too late. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
I think we might declare the ear a no-cell zone because people are not getting brain cancer. They've got that thing up there all day long. Talk, 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 talk.
I suppose you could say that's one advantage of texting. You know, it's down here, it's away. Really, I mean.
You may have arthritis in the thumbs, but at least it's not as.
I'll go with that.
It's not life-threatening.
Exactly.
But folks, you know, we have wonderful devices in our society and think, aren't they marvelous? The answer is no. I think people are chained to this, and you see young people particularly. They can be sitting at a table next to each other instead of talking. They're texting back and forth. I mean, it's just insane.
Yeah, and you know, I do think there is an addicting quality to it, and it's anybody who has it. Young people, yes, but I've seen older folks out to dinner with each other, not talking to each other at all, just texting away on their phones, looking down at their plates. So there's something about it.
My wife was in the Philippines, and she noticed a couple who came in, and this girl was here with her date, and she's on the phone all the time, talking. So finally, the date just smiles, walked and left.
Really?
and here, honey, you take the bill. You're enjoying this so much. It's all yours. But this is, I mean, we're not coming together. These things are driving us apart. We don't have the fellowship where you have to talk and converse and get to know people. It's terrible. I was in Africa. I mean, in Africa, in Kinshasa, in Zaire, and I was sitting at the table, and I think there were 4 people, and 3 of the 4 were on the cell phones talking. I mean, here you're having lunch, and bing, 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 everybody yak, 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 yak.
Well, we always talk about how much faster technology has made things go, and the cell phone is how we stay connected in the midst of that chaos.
I mean, you know, people will text you some inane message, and you have to answer that. You know, I mean, if you didn't have them, you wouldn't even talk about it because it's so stupid.
That's true.
But they're just sitting there. What are you doing? I'm petting the dog. Oh, you know, text back. Well, don't get dog hair in your lungs. Back to text. But I have a cat too. You know, I mean, it's like who cares?